Dexter Resurrection Episode 7 Course Correction ended on one hell of a high note with the build-up from New Blood between Batista and Dexter setting the stage for the season finale. The setup we're getting heading into these last 3 episodes would have worked for me in New Blood. Don't get me wrong, I love Original Sin, I love New Blood, I love Resurrection, but there's chemistry here that could have been its own thing, you know what I mean? And without erasing what the writers have done with Harrison, Dex and Batista have always been a natural selection to revamp the franchise. Like, if we were brought back into Dexter's world under the assumption Batista has spiraled down a rabbit hole like Dexter's currently claiming to Claudette, it would have hit just as hard as the reboot to this series. However, we've gotten entangled in a bunch of different character storylines, which to me is drawing attention towards the idea that Dexter's not going to be able to handle all of this. So eventually Dexter's Dark Passenger will spill over to Harrison, and not in a way of passing the torch like he was attempting in New Blood, but in a way that he will linger in his mind like Harry did for him. Y'all let me know in the comments what you guys thought about Batista and Dexter's first reunion at the hospital. That scene could have went anywhere. I wasn't putting it past him for him to do the same thing Dexter did to the brain surgeon once he got his hands on him for killing Deb. We should really thank Angela Bishop for getting Dexter and Batista to cross paths again. It's all paying off now, and I hope they pay homage to the Michael Myers, Dr. Loomis, Clarice, and Hannibal Lecter dynamic. I feel like there's a lot to say about Dex and Batista with everything they've been through up to this point and all the little interactions they've had. Like, I could pick that apart, and I might do an analysis on that. If you guys are interested, I'm going to go for it. Just let me know in the comments. Also, if you guys would like me to touch up on what I was going into about Harrison having Dexter linger around in his mind the same way Harry did for Dexter, drop a comment. Initially, I was going to drop a theory video about what the Gemini Killer and Prater have in store for Dexter. But considering how things have turned out for my guy Gareth, or Gareths, I might as well just go into this theory now, or it's really a what if, what this has turned into. Before I can get into my what if about the Gemini Killer, I must resurrect the Ice Truck Killer, Brian Moser, for my first installment of Dexter Resurrection What If. I'm diving off the deep end, so don't bust a tit if the timelines don't add up. Even the writers are inconsistent about that shit. What if Prater met Brian Moser? In Dexter Original Sin, we get a slight glimpse of Brian Moser in the foster care system, but we don't really know about what went on through those years up until Brian snapped. It's made apparent that he bounced around a little while, but we don't know anything yet about Prater's backstory in the foster system, so who knows where Prater ended up while he was a child. As we unite Moser and Prater, I want to call back to something Dexter said at the end of Season 2 after Lila blew up Dokes. If you believe in God, you have to wonder if Satan has miracles up his sleeve. And this connection would be nothing short of the devil's work. I'm roughly shooting for the early teens, when Leon and Brian meet in the same foster care facility. Prater notices an older kid picking on Brian, but it doesn't last for long. Brian retaliates cunningly. Prater barely comprehends it before his very eyes. Bored with the usual likes of the other children, Prater's interest is fueled. And in the same vein, Leon Prater established a relationship with a serial killer who killed his parents. Brian Moser and Leon Prater bonded. During that time, Brian shared about Dexter, his longing to never abandon Dexter again, and accept him for who he is. Prater cherishes this as his greatest secret. So many unanswered questions, and so much chaos to reign in, side by side. But although they share a connection, it's nothing the same for Brian as it is with him and Dex. Soon after, they go their separate ways, but manage to stay in touch. In the early heydays of Prater's serial killer parties, Brian would even attend, before fully immersing himself as the Ice Truck Killer, of course. After attending one of Prater's parties, he tells Prater that he is going to seek out Dexter, and he isn't going to stop no matter what happens. Prater wishes him the best, and sees him out. Moser considering it a goodbye, Prater, until next time. It left him curious when years went by without hearing from Brian. With the unnerving feeling that his most cherished secret faded away, and another serial killer that caught his attention, both lost to Miami, Prater orders Charlie to look into the disappearance of the Trinity Killer and the Ice Truck Killer. Charlie's left puzzled when she stumbles across the room Dexter killed Trinity. It doesn't take her experience to realize that something evil happened here. She updates Prater, and Prater tells her to extend her vacation. Her hunt guides her to the Trinity family. Thinking she has something to do with Kyle Butler, Trinity's family tells Charlie everything she could want to hear, and more. Before Dexter could even pick up on it, Charlie was on his scent. She chose not to give herself away, though, to not draw attention towards herself during the investigation of Rita's murder. She continues to stalk Dexter until he slips up and reveals himself without him knowing. Charlie uncovers the Bay Harbor butcher, and Prater is ecstatic. Everything's coming full circle. He'll finally know what happened to Brian. When Charlie's manhunt comes to a close, she realizes that the same thing Dexter did to the Trinity Killer, he did to his own brother. Prater then orders Charlie to return to her, but not before leaving with a trophy, Trinity's hammer. Now the Bay Harbor butcher is on Leon Prater's radar. In the passion of the moment, Prater decides out of respect for Brian to back off. He tells Charlie to return. Charlie sighs in relief, looking forward to putting this behind her. And yet she can't help but to take into account what disappointment this means for her employer. So she snags one more souvenir on her way out of the city. The table that the Bay Harbor butcher killed his brother, the ice truck killer. Prater continues his parties and finding more serial killers to collect from. And along his adventures, before the fame, Charlie discovers the Gemini twins when Prater orders her to look into the killer. They both proceed to meet with Prater soon after and share their origin with Prater and Charlie. It becomes Prater's latest greatest secret. In the sense, the Gemini Killer succeeded where the ice truck killer and the Bay Harbor butcher failed connecting. If y'all fuck with this Leon Prater met Brian Moser video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if you guys would like more what if videos with any of the living characters in the Dexter world. I got a whole spiel about Luma if anybody's listening. Anyway, now that you got a lay of the land here, what I'm going with. Next up, my Gemini Killer, what if?